Hi, I am Arib. You are watching my YouTube channel. Trip Circuit Supervision Relay. The role of trip circuit supervision. The trip circuit supervision circuit senses any fault either in the trip coil of the breaker or the trip circuit. On sensing a fault, trip circuit supervision relay changes its contact status to window annunciation on the panel. Here, fault in the circuit means any break or open circuit. In this post, we will be discussing the working principle of trip circuit supervision. Basically, a breaker is equipped with two trip coils. Both the trip coil energize. If the relay issues a tripping command on energization of the trip coil, the breaker mechanism opens the circuit breaker. Therefore, it is very important to monitor the trip coil's healthiness. Otherwise, during the requirement, the breaker may not open to clear the fault. A trip circuit supervision relay is provided to monitor the healthiness of the trip coil. As there are two trip coils, therefore there will be two trip circuit supervision relays and hence two different circuits. This relay has three coils, namely RLA, RLB and main coil, TCS, of the relay. Now a breaker may either be open or closed. Therefore, we need to monitor the healthiness in both the state of the breaker. Thus, trip circuit supervision is divided into pre-close and post-close supervision. Contacts A and B are breaker auxiliary contacts. Mind that these contacts are connected to the breaker mechanism and therefore their status depends on the breaker position. If the breaker is open, contact A will be open and contact B will be closed. Similarly, if breaker is closed, contact B will be open and contact A will be closed. Now we will consider pre-close and post-close supervision separately. Working principle of trip circuit supervision relay. Generally, trip coils are connected with the negative extension mode, negative terminal directly given to the one of the relay terminal. Therefore, a relay coil, supervision relay coil, is connected in series with the trip coil circuit. Supervision relay coil is connected with the trip coils. One terminal is connected with the negative point and another terminal, positive, is connected with the protection relays. Here, if the protection relays operate, then the relay gets the positive potential. The relay immediately operates the circuit breaker. But in our supervision circuit is connected in series with the trip coil. The positive terminal is joined with the negative terminal of the supervision relay is connected to the source positive terminal. Therefore, if the trip coil is good, then the supervision relay will be healthy. Otherwise, it does not allow to close the breaker if the breaker in open condition or it trip the circuit breaker if the breaker in closed condition. Construction of trip circuit supervision relay. It has three coils A, B and C along with resistors for each. A and B coils have associated no contacts which are used for the energization of coil C. The coil C has no and NC contacts which can be used in the closing circuit of the circuit breaker and for annunciation of the healthy and unhealthy trip circuit. The supervision function is based on the low current 3 mA injection principle. Pre-close trip circuit supervision. Pre-close means that breaker is open, thus the status of contact A will be open and that of B will be closed. If you observe the circuit carefully, you will notice that in this case current will be flowing through both the coils RLA and RLB. As coils RLA and RLB are energized, their contact will be closed. Now carefully observe the circuit of TCS relay. Since RLA and RLB are closed, DC supply will be extended and hence TCS relay will be energized. Therefore, its output contact 1 to 2 will be open and hence no window will appear. This means that trip circuit is healthy. Assume there is any open circuit. In such case, as no current could flow through the coils RLA and RLB, hence relay TCS will not be energized. Because of this, its output contact 1 to 2 will be closed for window annunciation. This means to the operator that either DC supply has failed or there is some problem in the trip circuit. Post-close trip circuit supervision. Post-close means that breaker is closed, thus the status of contact A will be close and that of B will be open. If you observe the circuit carefully, you will notice that in this case current will be flowing through both the coils RLA. Now carefully observe the circuit of TCS relay. Since output contact of RLA is closed, DC supply will be extended to TCS relay and hence TCS relay will be energized. Therefore, its output contact 1 to 2 will be open and hence no window will appear. This means that trip circuit is healthy. Assume there is any open circuit. In such case, as no current could flow through the coils RLA, hence relay TCS will not be energized. Because of this, its output contact 1 to 2 will be closed to annunciate window. This means to the operator that either DC supply has failed or there is some problem in the trip circuit. It shall be noticed that as the resistance of relay coil is very less, therefore a high resistance shall be connected in series so that less current flows through the circuit to operate the trip coil of the breaker. It shall also be noticed that in case of protection trip separately, positive DC voltage is extended to the trip coil of circuit breaker so that full current flows through the trip coil to operate the breaker.